Hey there, friends. Tired of managing symptoms and struggling for answers? This holistic podcast guides you beyond one-size-fits-all advice to uncover root cause health solutions. I'm Holly Jean Mullen, your functional nutritional therapist host. Drawing from over a decade of clinical and personal experience, I'm here to help you overcome chronic issues like thyroid problems, autoimmune conditions, hormone imbalances, inflammation, weight loss resistance, the list goes on. This isn't generic advice. It's a comprehensive, personalized plan covering nutrition, mindset, and environment. Tune in for practical education, expert guests, real stories, and coaching to help identify what's keeping you stuck. It's time to understand your unique needs and tap into your God-given ability to heal by honoring nature's wisdom. Your transformation starts here. Let's go. Hey friend, welcome back to this little in-between moment of an episode that I am calling a season 1 wrap-up. It's not a full deep dive, but it's something that I just need to get off my chest. And it's also the perfect place to end this chapter of season 1 of the Real Health Transformations podcast. Since moving to Oklahoma a few years ago, and especially since launching this podcast, I've gone through a transformation I didn't fully see until recently. And it's not just in my work or the way I show up online. It's in me, who I am, how I speak, what I believe I'm here to do. When I launched this podcast, I thought I was building a platform, a tool, really, something to help other people. And it has been that, but also it's become something more. It's become a mirror, honestly, a form of therapy. So this episode is a little love note to the growth that's happened behind the scenes, to the weird, messy in-between, and to the recalibration that had to happen before I could find my real voice. And yes, this includes a full circle plot twist that involves a butterfly I paid for and hated. So let's talk about what happens when your brand, your message, and your voice catch up to who you're becoming. That is this episode. So let's go. All right. When I launched the Real Health Transformations podcast, I thought I was naming a podcast to highlight other people's stories. But what I've come to see is that name was about me too. These past few months have been some of the most clarifying and refining months of my life. And I've grown in ways that I really didn't expect. I mean, I don't think anyone really expects to grow, but I've let go pieces of fear that I don't think I even realized that I was carrying. And I've started showing up with more of my real voice, not just the curated one or the professional one or the one that tries to say everything in the right way. Something really hit me this week, and I mean like it really hit me. This podcast has been absolutely like therapeutic for me, like therapy. So thank you. You guys are all my little therapists, and you didn't even know it. You're just listening. I'm on the couch. I honestly didn't know it would be like I said, I thought it was going to be a platform, a tool that I could use in my coaching business. You know, the goal was to help people I thought creating episodes, these would be things that I could share with my clients as I grow my business. I could use episodes to share as resources with my clients and to reach more people. I wanted to share with a bigger audience what I've learned through experience and practice with the clients that I've served in over a decade in this industry. But of course, if I'm being real honest, like creating this podcast was also designed to be the top of my sales funnel. Like I am trying to build a business here, and it just helps. Like it feels good to be helping people along the way. Like that was like, okay, this is how I want to do it. But what it's become is just like this place for me to be real, and it's become a place for me to just show up in the process. And you know what's funny is a couple months ago at the beginning of the year, I took a month off from publishing any episodes, and I didn't really plan it. I was in this space where I couldn't force out any content that I wasn't feeling aligned with. And I was just like in this weird space where like nothing just felt right to put out. Episode 27 talks about that and what I was feeling. The episode's titled When the Path Isn't Clear, Navigating Uncertainty and Surrendering Control. At the time in that episode, I said I was feeling a shift. And in retrospect, what I didn't know then was that I was in the middle of, let's say, a recalibration. It wasn't burnout. It wasn't resistance. It was just, I think, a pause before clarity hit, before I had this like aha moment. And looking back now, I can see exactly what was happening because hindsight's 2020, right? But I needed space to let that next version of me flush out the old and just kind of like catch up to the mic. I had to marinate or simmer and like soak up the new flavor. No, oh my gosh, I almost just busted into a flavor flav. I guess some things never change. I have not evolved that much yet, guys. But I guess if you've been listening, like all 12 of you who've been listening to me, thank you. Maybe you have felt the shift. I don't know, but thank you for noticing. Thank you for sticking around. I did actually lose more than half the audience due to that break, but that's okay. Fickle friends, y'all. But the show isn't just about health or home. I mean, yeah, it is, but it's about becoming. It's about trusting that transformation doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like saying the thing out loud, or letting your voice shake, or being 40 something and realizing, dang, I'm finally getting to know who I really am. My favorite podcasts are the ones that engage me and that make me feel something. And whether my mind is stimulated with something smart or interesting, like I love business topics that inspire my creativity, or topics that like tug on the heart with someone's story, or a motivational sermon, or even just human nature, funny random conversations about nothing, like Joe Rogan podcasts for 3 hours. Like I love Leah, my co-host from the old podcast, and I loved doing the show with her, and we had so much fun together. But quite honestly, and I'm sorry, I'm not like trying to be an a-hole saying this, because like that's not what I'm trying to say, but I did not love our show. Like I did not like our show's content. Our show was not a show I would like ever want to listen to. That doesn't mean like I didn't enjoy some of the episodes or some of our guests and like have great moments, but for the most part, like it was just boring to me because it was just very structured. Like we just had like guests that sometimes I had no interest in talking to, or topics I didn't want to talk about. And sometimes we had sponsors I didn't really feel passionate about. Like it wasn't fully aligned, is really what I'm trying to say. Like it was like a show more for a job, not like a show from a passion, right? That's really the gist of it. So when I created this show, more than anything, I wanted it to be real. I've had this obsession with real. Like when I joined the old podcast, it was called Low Carb Conversations. And then we changed it to Real Health Conversations because I was like, oh, we want to talk about like all things, like let's have real conversations. And then when I started this show, I was like, oh, this is going to be real health transformations. So maybe it was my subconscious sending me a clue. So here it is. It doesn't get any more real than this, folks. This is just like a little moment to mark the moment. I feel it. I see it. I'm showing up for it. And I'm sharing it with you so we can star this day on our calendar. And if you're somewhere maybe in your own transformation, whatever that looks like, just know that you are not alone. And you don't have to be all the way there to be seen. And you don't have to feel certain in it to be strong. You just have to keep showing up. And I don't think we ever really fully arrive. I think we just keep getting refined. And right now, I just feel grateful to be showing up more fully as me. And not perfectly, but honestly, I'll show up honestly. So I have a funny story to share that's kind of like an ironic, funny little plot twist here. The original cover artwork for this podcast launch for Real Health Transformations was a butterfly. And I remember like when I was sitting down with the producer who's like helping me get the show launched, and we had already set like the launch deadline, and I had to get artwork done. And like I hired a graphic designer to do the cover art. And we're like in our brainstorming session. She's like, what do you think? And I was like, I don't know. Transformations, like it just keeps making me think of a butterfly, but I don't want to go with a butterfly, but that's just what keeps popping into my head. But I couldn't think of anything else. And I didn't want my picture or my face to be on the image. I wanted it to be something else. I wanted it to be just mostly words, but I was encouraged that we to have an image. So I was like, oh, I just keep thinking of a butterfly. So because of a deadline, I was like, sure, let's just go with the butterfly. That butterfly made me cringe. The original cover was just so not me. I hated it. Not because it was a bad cover or she did a bad job, but just because it just wasn't me, and I just needed something. So I was like, sure, it worked. I had the deadline. I paid for that butterfly and I did not like it. It made me cringe every time I see it. But what is funny is looking back is like that butterfly, that time, that was like my cocoon season. I'm going to get all poetic on you now. That part of this story was the part where it was like messy and I wasn't ready to fly and everything was shifting underneath the outer surface. And now I'm the real version of that transformation. Or I'm like coming out of the cocoon. It's such a cheesy metaphor, that a full circle cheesy metaphor. I'm the living embodied version of my original podcast art. Oh gosh. Okay, well, it was funny to me. I thought it was funny. Yeah, I hated that butterfly. I became the butterfly. Was it A Bug's Life? Look at me, I'm a beautiful butterfly. Was that Bug's Life? I don't remember. Anyways, on that note, I hope you'll continue walking with me or floating like a butterfly with me through this show. The show that is about becoming. Real Health Transformations. This podcast is closing out this season 1. I am coming back at season 2 with a new name. We will be the Health and Home Podcast. The concept is staying the same. My voice is shifting a little bit. The topics might shift a little bit. It's coming back bigger, better, and stronger. Can't wait to see ya. Thanks for listening to Real Health Transformations. I appreciate you joining me. If you found value in what we covered today, I'd be grateful if you could leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. It really helps spread the word and just helps me get the show out to more people and lets more people find us. And if you'd like to submit a question for me to answer on a coaching episode or to apply to be a live guest on a coaching episode, check out the show notes on how to contact me for that. The show is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. As always, please consult your trusted doctor or medical professional before making health and lifestyle changes. I'll catch you next time on Real Health Transformations.